So I've just watched the Love is Blind finale. Oh my gosh. My mind was blown with some of the outcomes. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Alicia J, and we are going to be talking about Love is Blind, the finale. I'm so excited. So please bear with me. I love a finale. And you know what? This one, I can't wait to talk to you all about it, because this one blew my mind. Because there were some predictions that I got wrong. Let's talk about it. But before we do all that, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed and you enjoy talking about movies and TV shows, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And also, if you can turn on your notifications, you will be the first to know when I drop a brand new video. So please and thank you very much. Okay, so is anybody else as shocked as I was with some of the outcomes of the weddings? I made some predictions about which couples would get married, which ones would not get married, and loved reading your predictions, by the way. So let's talk about what happened. We have to start with Nancy and Bartise, because we were left on the cliffhanger of whether Bartise is going to say yes or no. And wasn't shocking for me that Bartise said no at all. I mean, it's not shocking for any of us, really, is it? We saw the writing on the wall. We've talked about it in the comments. We saw this one coming from there on the beginning, so not shocking. What was shocking was there was nearly a family fisticuffs up in the place afterwards. So, okay, I'm being dramatic. It wasn't that bad. Anyway, Barty says no. Nancy looks blindsided. He took her outside, and at least he went to explain his reasoning. Except for his reasoning was a pile of foolishness. Have you noticed that Bartise has a bit of a pattern of behaviour, by the way? It can't just be me. But have you noticed that it's everybody else's fault? Okay, in previous episodes, it was, I'm having doubts because, my sister doesn't approve. She's skeptical. I'm having doubts because, my family don't approve. Then the problem is that his friends had something to say. And now we finally reached wedding day. And do you know whose problem it is today? It's Nancy's fault. It's Nancy's fault. It's her family's fault. It's the outside world's fault. Everybody else's fault. And the part that I find a little bit interesting is that, at least for me, the common thread of Nancy and Bartise's problems is Bartise. He is the consistent problem. So I don't know how Nancy stood there in that moment and took it, where he's saying that basically I didn't marry you because of you and your people. Speaking of her people, I still love Nancy's family. I love her family. I don't know. I must be the only one, but I don't know what it was, but I'm laughing at it now because it was a bit silly. But at the time, when Steve is talking to his mum, the mum, I'm going to keep calling her the mum, forgive me, Nancy's mum. Nancy's mum is talking to Steve because Steve is quite emotional about the situation. And you can hear that he's crying, and he was like, the mom's saying, you're right, you were right. He was, that he was going to do this. You did tell us, you were right. And then Steve's like, but I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right about this. I know, but I don't. And it was like, I felt like I was seeing myself a little bit, because it's exactly how I felt, where I didn't feel like crying over Nancy, don't get me wrong. But everything that he was saying, I was like, I feel it too. I did not want to be right. I wanted Nancy to be happy, because I know I've ribbed on her. I have ribbed on her, but I always liked Nancy from the beginning. Yes, a little bit naive, and the naivety was testing my patience, but only because I actually really like her and I want her to be with a guy who's going to treat her properly. And so it was frustrating to keep watching someone who deserves better keep putting up with bad behavior. So when Steve was getting upset, I was like, you know what? I understand Steve. I feel it too. And also maybe it's that whole sibling thing. I'm the oldest child, and I have a younger sister. And as much as she can fight for herself, any guy who's going to mess with my sister, we got a problem. That's my sister. Don't play. Don't play. Okay? That's just the relationship we have. We are no, don't mess with my sister. So I could tell that Steve's emotions was really because he's so angry, and the only way to get out is through tears. So Then the mom kept going over to Bartise and Nancy. Now, yes, she should have maybe stayed out of it and let them talk. I'm not gonna back her 100, but what what I struggled with is Bartise's attitude. You've dumped her daughter. She's entitled to be annoyed at you. She's entitled to come for you. But he was coming for everybody real quick. Did anybody notice that? I don't know. Bartise, considering you messed up, where's your attitude coming from? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when the part when he was saying to the mom, you know, she gave him what for and said like he's not ready for you. And I kind of wonder if maybe the mum did that because she knew Nancy would fold like a pack of cards, and maybe that's why she felt like she had to intervene. Um, but anyway, then Bartice is trying to be like, "Oh, would you have preferred it if I said yes?" Because that doesn't make any sense. Boy, where's your manners? Where are your manners? You messed up. You need to eat humble pie and take the trash being thrown at you. Take the trash. That's my thing. And then Steve comes over, which I could be wrong. It seemed like Steve came over to back his mum because, like, Bartice is going on like. So then Steve comes over, that amplifies the situation, and then Bartise is like, "You're, I really don't want to swear on this channel as much as possible." And then Bartise is like, "Oh, you're messing things up. You're messing everything up." No, Bartise, you messed it up when you said no at the aisle. As Steve said, you're wasting everybody's time. Love Steve. Can we get Steve a show? I might be the only person to watch it, but can we get Steve his own show? Like he needs to do like a dating show and weed out the trash men from the good men. I would love to see that show. And I was so glad that Nancy defended herself because I was starting to question her loyalty when she was telling her family to back off. I'm like, Nancy, are we still defending this man? Your family are backing you and you're backing him? She stood up for herself and she ended it. She was like, we're done. She ripped off the bracelet and I'm like, good, because girl, I knew those bracelets were not going to last. And that thing came off real quick. Real quick. So pleased for Nancy. It's a shame her heart got broken. But now at least she can go on to find someone who's going to love her and treat her the way that she deserves. Oh yeah, and then we have Alexa and Brennon's wedding. Now, I thankfully don't have a lot to say other than I was right. Yes. Love the fact that the producers gave us a fake, swerve because they made it look like that he was, worried about getting married, and then turns out Brennon is very certain that this is his woman. So yeah, they got to the wedding, they had their wedding, they came out the other side, had their party, and yeah, it was just so good to see some good news. We we want to see people fall in love. I don't know. How do you feel about Alexa and Brennon getting married? Because I have a feeling it's going to be quite divisive. Some people will say it was a good thing. Some people will say it's not. But yes, so that one I got right. Nancy and Bartise, I got right. I got the Raven and SK really wrong. But to be fair, most people got that one wrong. So, okay, so now we have Zanab and Cole. Now, my prediction was that these two will get married, even though I think they should not get married because the two of them, toxic city, like, it's bad. Zainab is very much like, I don't know what I feel. I'm going to know when we get to the aisle. Cole is very much like, yes, we've had our problems, but I think we're going to fight for this love. They gave each other nice vows, and then she prayed for him. So I'm like, okay, this is done. They're getting married. Then she blindsided me by saying no. I was so caught up in the whole finally one of them has sense, one of them has seen the light, that I really didn't deep what was really going on when she kept talking and kept talking and kept talking and then walked out the door. So my mum and we watched it separately and then we had a chat about it. And my mum was very much like, I'm not happy with what Zainab did, the way that she blindsided him. Why did she not mention it the entire time? And I kind of thought at first, well, actually, I was pleased for her for standing up for herself and taking control of the situation, taking control of her life, because this is not a good coupling. Ultimately, I want people to be happy on this show, and I don't want to see people in toxic situations. So that's what I was originally thinking. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to rewatch it again. So I rewatched all the weddings again. And then I could see what everyone was talking about. So Zanab's speech was very detailed. She said he had disrespected her, he insulted her, he critiqued her, and it was very well delivered. It was a very well thought out speech that now I can kind of see why Cole felt like she shafted him. She switched on him. But yeah, once I rewatched it, I was like, that speech was a little bit too good. It was a little bit too smooth. It was a little bit too well thought about. It did not seem like an ad hoc last minute moment, because she went into a lot of details and she really gave it to him. And then when she left, she even said that, like, to her stepdad that, like, oh, he needed to be told some things. It's now giving me premeditation. Like, I'm like, hold on. Maybe Cole's right. Maybe she had it stored to really hit him in public because she knew it would hurt the most. So I would love to know, what do you guys think? Are you leaning towards that she was wrong to really put him on blast in front of everybody and dump him like that, because she probably knew she was going to dump him anyway? Like, are you leaning more towards that end of the spectrum? Or are you more like, you know what? No, she stood up for herself. The guy was a hot mess. No good for her. And then we have Colleen and Matt. Now, I did predict that these two would not stay together, mostly because that's what I felt would be the right thing to do. But I did say I wouldn't be shocked if these two did get married. And to be honest, when they actually got married, I wasn't shocked. If anything, I kind of felt more like, but you know what? Good luck to you guys, because you're going to need it. They're going to need it. So Colleen spent the whole time deliberating with her family. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then you've got Matt, and he's very much like, I don't know. I'm only going to know when I get there. If you've been watching my previous videos, you know I've talked about Matt at length. Yeah, again, I wish them the best of luck because they're going to need it. The only way this marriage is really, really going to work with those two is Matt is going to have to seriously do the work. Do the work to heal. Do the work to trust Colleen. But also Colleen, she's going to have to also stand up for herself. So do you remember back in the fight when the very first argument they had, she's like, you know, I can't lose him. I know it's people pleasing, but I can't lose him. She needs to get over that. People pleasing is draining. I don't know. Like, I hope she'll be okay. But for now, she's chosen him, and yeah. Anyway, so those are the weddings. There are the breakups. Are you surprised? How many of your predictions did you get right? Which ones were you shocked by, if any? Were there any you were not surprised about? Do let me know in the comments down below. But we've still got one episode left, and I can't wait to watch it, because I reckon there's going to be more stuff that's going to come out. If you've watched it already, I beg you please do not write in the comments, because I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notification, and if you like the video, press the like button. Why not? Anyway, yeah, so for now, thank you guys, and I will see you soon. So take care. Bye.